McGraw-Hill Professional presents The Toyota Engagement Equation: How to Understand and Implement Continuous Improvement Thinking in Any Organization. Written by Tracey Richardson and Ernie Richardson. Narrated by Todd Belcher. Foreword. My personal journey with Toyota's unique approach to management began in 1987 when I signed on as the 292nd hire at Toyota Motor Manufacturing of Kentucky, TMMK, the company's first wholly owned North American operation. The Georgetown facility was still under construction and more than a year away from producing cars, so my earliest lessons came through participation in a thorough preparation process working at Toyota. Building a manufacturing base in North America was a big leap for Toyota, and its leaders were determined to get it right. Consequently, they put their best people behind the project, individuals who continued to advance up through the ranks after they returned to Japan. This talented group was like a hand-picked all-star team sent on a big mission, and they spent nearly a year preparing for the plant launch before they left Japan. Prior to joining Toyota, I had been in quality management for 10 years and had risen to the role of division quality manager for an automotive supplier for 3 plants in North America. When I was offered the job at Toyota, my Toyota superiors had different ideas. They wanted me to walk back to the specialist, engineering, position, so I could really learn the business from the basement floor all the way up through the organization. Taking 2 steps back like this seemed like a hard pill to swallow back in those young days in my career, but it was the best decision I ever made. There was good reason for Toyota's approach. As I soon discovered, we were expected to spend a significant portion of our time developing people, so it was critical for us to have a deep understanding of the work we would be asking our people to do. Toyota's hiring strategy assured that there was a good mix of individuals with and without manufacturing experience. However, all members followed a common development path based on the principles and values that comprise Toyota's unique way of doing business. We spent long days with our Japanese leaders in an atmosphere of discovery and experimentation, and many of the methods that we would use were under construction, just like the factory. Training materials and textbooks were typically typed or handwritten, and provided only a basic overview. The real learning took place when our trainers walked us through the concepts on the actual production floor. Concepts and methods, however, were only part of the story. There was also enormous emphasis on making sure that we fully appreciated the cultural foundation that was essential to the methods we were learning. This continued throughout my career at Toyota and often involved trips to Japan to see these concepts in action. The Toyota expression for such visits is going to Gemba, that is, going to the source to understand the facts through your own eyes. Many times we had to acquire an understanding of the concepts and then adapt them to work successfully in North America. Toyota's culture has many elements, and these had a long history even then. For example, Toyota faced a financial crisis in 1949, resulting in severe restrictions on its ability to borrow money. Toyota's leaders concluded that the only path to growth was through their people. Consequently, they doubled down on the basics of respecting their team members and ensuring that the company, through its long-term success, would be able to provide sustainable employment. This led to a series of best practices, later known as the Toyota Production System, for assuring quality while minimizing waste in a lean environment. The Toyota Way was then developed to ensure that every employee understood Toyota's unique way of doing business. With that came the firm conviction that the company could never let its guard down. When things are going well in most companies, management and its employees will say, "Okay, we're making all kinds of money, we can relax." At Toyota, however, that's the point where people really hunker down and ask, what can we do better in the future to improve quality, improve efficiency, or reduce costs? Embedding this thinking in the culture from day one was critical, because the responsibility for solving problems and making improvements didn't just rest with process engineers or time study professionals. At Toyota, everybody must become a problem-solving expert at his or her level. Team members solve problems that are appropriate for team members to solve, team leaders solve team leader problems, and the pattern continues for supervisor problems, engineering problems, or senior manager problems.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?